Hey everybody, old school was hard. I don't know about y'all, but last week was hard. I'm still not solid on last week's verses. So if that's the case for you too, don't panic. Let's just keep moving and we'll keep working on last week's as well. It just, old school way takes a lot more time and a lot more effort, it seems like, mostly time, because you just have to go over it over and over and over again. There's nothing for, I don't know, at least it's the way I think, it's the way my brain is wired. I need something to hook onto. So back to tricks this week, but don't stop, because at least in my experience, if I stop because I think, well, I don't have that one solid, so I'll wait, and then 2 weeks goes by, 3 weeks, a month, and all of a sudden you're not memorizing scripture. So I think we should press on, and we will hopefully firm up last week's as we go. So this week's, guess what? We're using a path again. And here's a little secret I haven't told you yet. You can actually use a path more than once. In all my research of memory stuff, people say you can use them as many times as you want. Now, I found in personal experience that the more I use them, and if I use them really close together, like the same path, I can get confused on which verse. I can just confuse the two verses. I'm having a hard time getting my thoughts together today. So we're going to use a path that we've used before, but we're going to go way back to the beginning, and that was 4 months ago. So remember the condo path? So the good news is we don't have to learn the path again, but let's just review it. So we're outside on the balcony. We come into the den of the condo. Then we are sitting down at the kitchen table, and then the door of the condo, getting into the elevator of the condo, getting out of the elevator of the condo, and that was it for that verse. For this verse, we have one more location, but I'm going to leave it as a surprise when we get there. So that's our path. So we got to put our keywords or bizarre things or whatever's going to be at each spot to help us remember the words of the verse. So we're out on the balcony, and someone right next, you know how you can see the balconies all the way down? Someone right next to us, there's an insurance salesman, and he's saying, "Come to term, life insurance, come to term." He's just calling out, "Come to term, come to term." And you're like, that's bizarre. And he looks right at you, and he's trying to like engage you in a sales pitch. And so you just quickly go in, because you don't want to buy life insurance today, and you don't want to have to talk to this man. You're at the beach. So you quickly come inside. And then there was that mountain of stuff. Remember, it was the girls' condo. And so there's the mountain, and the devil is on top of the mountain. The accuser. He's accusing you of all kinds of stuff. He's just being hateful and ugly, and you're thinking, I don't deserve this. Why? Who let the devil in my condo? This is awful. All right, so then you go on to the kitchen to get past the devil, to sit down at the kitchen table, and the devil comes with you. And you sit at the table, and then all of a sudden you realize that the table is a little miniature court. Okay, so pick whatever makes sense to you, whether it be a volleyball court, a tennis court, a basketball court, it could even be a pickleball court. Whatever court makes sense to you, the table is that court. And you're like, wow, this is weird. And then there's a knock at the door. And you go open the door, and it's the devil again. He's at the door. He was just with you at the table, and poof, now he's at the door. Except for this time, he's shorter. He's less. And that's a little weird, but the devil's at the door. Okay, he picks you up, and he's holding you over his head, and he takes you down to the elevator, and the elevator doors come open, and inside the elevator there's a judge. It could be Judge Judy, it could be any famous judge you know, or just a generic judge, one of the Supreme Court justices. There's a judge, picture the black robe, they've got the gavel in their hand, and all that, and the devil hands you over to the judge, and the judge takes you. And then you go down, doors open, and there's a security guard, and the judge hands you to the security guard, and you're just like, wow, this is really weird. And the guard walks you down, deep down in the bottom of the condo, like underground level, down a dark spiral staircase, and he puts you in prison. It's very dark, and you can't really see anything down there because your eyes haven't adjusted yet. And you hear somebody breathing, and you're trying to figure out what's going on, why are you in prison, what's happening. And as your eyes begin to adjust, you start seeing you have a cellmate. And you see his uniform, it says Rudy. His name is Rudy. And he's a big guy, and he looks mean, and he looks scary. And then you notice he only has one eye. Yep, the other eye has been plucked out, and you're trying to figure out if that happened in prison or before prison or whatever. But really scary dude named Rudy with one eye is now your roommate. And he's trying to tell you something, but you can't barely hear him. His voice is kind of gravelly because he hasn't talked in so long, and you say, "What? What did you say?" And then a loud, deep, scary voice, he says, "You will never get out of here until you have paid the last penny." And it just sends a chill down your spine, and you're just as scared as you've ever been in your entire life. And you look down, and lo and behold, in your hand is a penny. And you give the penny, and you're set free. All right, so that's our little story, and that's going to help us a lot with our verse this week. It's bizarre, and then you get back up, and now you're on the beach, and then you wonder later, like, was that a dream, or did that really happen? So here's our keywords, super quick. Balcony, come to terms, okay? And the first words of this verse are, come to terms. Quickly, you went in quickly. So the first 4 words, come to terms quickly. And then who did you see? The devil, who is your accuser. The next words are with your accuser. And then you went to go sit down at the table, which was really a miniature court, while you're going to court with him. Wait, sorry, I messed up. While you are going with him to court. While you're going with him to court. Okay, and then you go to the door, and who was at the door? It's the devil again, but he's less, right? And so guess what the next word is? Lest. Okay, it's not less, but hopefully less will get to lest in your brain. Lest your accuser, so there's the devil again, your accuser. So lest your accuser, and then he picks you up, he takes you to the elevator, and what did he do? He handed you over to the judge. Guess what the next words are? Hand you over to the judge. Those are the exact words. All right, and then you go down, and the elevator door opens, and what did the judge do? He handed you over to the guard. And so the words are, and the judge to the guard. Okay, so from the top, come to terms quickly with your accuser while you're going with him to court, lest your accuser hand you over to the judge and the judge to the guard, okay? And then the guard took you down to prison, so our next words are, and you be put in prison, okay? And then what was the guy's name? What was our cellmate's name? Rudy, right? And what was his issue? He only had one eye. So it's truly, so hopefully Rudy is going to ring in your head, truly I, for the one eye, truly I say to you. Rudy with the one eye was trying to tell you something. Truly I say to you. And then what did Rudy say? You will never get out until you've paid the last penny. Boom, end of the verse. I hope this really helps you. I'm sorry it got a little long. I thought it was going to be short today, but I was stumbling over my words a little bit. Super impressed with all your efforts. Don't give up, even if you don't feel like you have them solid. Let's keep going. They're getting in there. They're getting into your mind and getting into your heart. So keep up the great work, and I'll talk to you later.